So Nintendo unveiled the NX this morning as the Nintendo Switch, and the internet is just crazy about it. Like it's everywhere, and I'm not going to focus on the controller or controllers, mind you, because I'm sure there's already a million people talking about that. There's actually one thing that I want to touch on, and I'll get to the other stuff at the end of the video, but this is the really part that I find intriguing, is that on, if I can find the picture here, but anyway, on the base, on the one side, there's the two USB slots, or ports, which is a pretty standard thing, like that's pretty obvious, and there's the controllers and whatnot, but on the other side, there's this notch, and I don't know, it could just be a notch, it could just be a design decision, but what if that's some sort of expansion port? Like, remember how the N64 and the GameCube had, like, expansion ports on the bottom, even though the one for the N64 never got used for anything outside of Japan? But instead of, like, Game Boy players, there's, you can put on attachments for additional processors or additional hard drives or stuff, like a modular design. And I think that would be the way to go with this. And clearly there's the issue here that if, that stuff's on the dock, it wouldn't necessarily work for the handheld mode, and I get that. That's why I'm kind of skeptical as to what that actually is. But that would make this more competitive on a tech level compared to its competition. And it would still allow them to sell it for a cheaper price because they don't necessarily have to bundle in all that expensive hardware with the console. It can be sold to you later down the line when it's easier to produce. Because from what I can tell, the Nintendo Switch is not going to be as powerful as the PS4 or Xbox. That I don't know that for a fact, but that's from what I can tell. But that would be the way to go with it, in my opinion. I have my doubts for if that's the case, but anyway, moving on to what we can see in the trailer. There's the controller that slides apart and clips onto the screen, and there's another controller which is pretty standard, and you can use the individual sides of the controller as their little controllers themselves, like they're playing Mario Kart with it. Go check it out if you haven't. Go check out the trailer, but it looks really neat. Skyrim was shown pretty extensively in the trailer, which my jaw kind of dropped. Like, I was shocked. It wasn't even something that ever occurred to me, like that Skyrim might be coming to a Nintendo console. Like, I kind of had my hopes up during the Wii U days, but I kind of had put that to rest. But if this is a touchscreen thing, like inventory management, well, I guess not really, because would have been good on the Wii U because you had the whole second screen on the controller itself that you could just kind of, fiddle around with your inventory down there. Maybe not as great now that the screen is either in the dock or your only screen. But yeah, that's neat. It definitely shows that they're trying to get that third-party support back, and from the looks of it, like, with how extensively Skyrim was shown in the trailer, I'd say that third-party developers are back on board with Nintendo, for the time being at least, which is great for them. I really hope this thing works out. I do have my doubts, but we'll have to wait and see. But that's about all I have to say. I'll catch you guys on the flip side.